Hello, welcome back. Just to let you know, this video is basically the part 2 of the Hungry Frog game. So if you haven't done part 1, Hungry Frog, you need to go and do that first. If you have done part 1, you'll have a game that looks a bit like this, with a frog trying to chase the donut, and if it catches the donut, then it eats it. So in the last video, I said we were going to look at a way to make this a bit easier for the frog. How do we do that? Well, wouldn't it be great if the frog could stick out its tongue to try and catch the donut, to make it a bit easier? Now, this is actually an idea that came from a student that I was teaching in a school. So it's not my idea. He came up with the idea during the class, and then we all looked at a way of how we could do this. So first thing I want to do is to go to the frog, under costumes. So this is how the frog looks, and it can have many different costumes. So at the moment it's just got one, and I want another one that makes it look like the tongue is sticking out. So to do that, I don't want to have to draw the frog from the beginning again, and anyway, this frog is from scratch, so I'm going to just right click on here and duplicate. So now I have two pictures, frog and frog 2, both exactly the same. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly change frog to picture. How am I going to do that? Well, let me just zoom in a bit here so it's easier to see. Now I have this tool up here called reshape. If you select reshape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to drag this tongue about, grabbing these points and kind of carefully, not going too mad, just extending the tongue a bit. So feel free to do it however you like. There we go. That's not too bad. Now already if I click between these two pictures, you can see the frog is kind of sticking out its tongue a bit. Maybe I want to go just a little bit more. Okay. So let's click between the two. Okay. Yeah, now he's really sticking his tongue out. Okay, so that's fine, but I don't really want to play the game and then have to click here between the two pictures. That's not how it's going to work. We have to get it to switch between the pictures in the code. So let's go back to scripts, and I want a new control. So I'm going to go to events, and actually this time I am going to use when space key pressed. Space key is often used kind of as a fire button in games, so that's what I'm going to use here. So when space key pressed. Now there's no movement. What I want to happen is to change the costume. So under scripts and under looks, I've got a couple of options here. Let's just look at this one. Switch to costume, frog 2. So if I go to costumes, frog 2 is the one with the tongue sticking out. So when I press the space key, it's going to switch to costume, frog 2. I press the space key. There we go. Tongue is sticking out. But that's it. If I press the space key again, well, it's still showing frog 2. So now I'm kind of stuck like that. So I don't really want that. I want the tongue to go back in, and I want it to happen automatically. Like it stuck its tongue out really fast and then it goes back in. So how do I get it to happen automatically? Well, under control, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it wait. And after waiting, it's going to go back to costume frog. So let's go to scripts and looks and switch costume, and here I'm going to select frog. So I'm going to press the space key. Ooh. Tongue is sticking out, and after 1 second goes back in. Maybe 1 second is too long, so I can click in here and I can have half a second, 0.5 for half a second. Now when I click, a little bit faster, still probably should be a bit quicker, so I'm going to go for 0.2. That looks pretty good. Okay, so I can kind of attack the donut with this system here. So let's have a go. Let's play. And so I'm coming up towards the donut, and from about this distance, press space, and I've eaten the donut. Let's have another look at that. So I can get a little bit close, press space, and I've eaten the donut. So now I have a kind of firing system that's controlled through this simple animation of switching costumes. So that's a really nice effect to use. Okay, thanks for watching. I suggest you can play about with that. You can have other costumes. And I'll see you in the next tutorial.